I'm Sai. This is my husband Alex, and we are going to interpret a large text submitted by Yami in the Unknown's Discord for us to interpret. I have briefly looked at it, but not attempted to interpret it much. You?
I have looked at it about as much as I could stare while we were configuring this, but not more yet.
Right. So, we are interpreting it live. So, here is the text, and here is the Unnul's grammar lexicon, which we will make reference to. One thing to note is that this text makes use of multiple colors.
2 colors. Tricky to tell apart at zoom out scale for me, although maybe that's just my vision.
So red and purple.
Yeah.
I can see it.
I can see it with concentration.
This is red. This divergence is red.
Right. We may as well call them red and blue because they're purplish red and purplish blue.
Sure. So, that's red.
Yeah.
This fork is purple.
That's right. I'm going to call it blue.
Fine.
Yes, I can tell them apart.
These responses are
it's
blue.
Definitely easier when zoomed in.
Yes. I'm just trying to get an overall sense.
That is a juncture of color, which is interesting.
Yes, that is quite unusual. And there's also bolding here, which Yami is making use of.
And this might be bolding. This guy.
I was trying to do mouse.
Oh, sorry.
People with inverted controls.
Spoilers in the chat. Okay.
Great. We are not going to look at the spoilers yet. So, where should we start? Probably from the center. This seems like temporally the first part necessarily. I believe.
Right? Let's start there and we'll see.
Like this.
Let's start there.
Okay.
So, I and you are together.
Where red is, or
red
is
I and you are
speaking.
together. Yeah. Red asks 2 questions, which blue answers no.
One sec.
Oh. So I wanted to configure the window somehow.
I want to have the hand tool. How do I get the hand tool? Yeah. Oh. I don't want to select things. I just want to.
I know what you mean. Okay. So. There's this.
I exist.
Yeah, we coexist in place.
We co-locate. There's a movement of something uncertain. We are on or outside something.
Yeah.
Whose identity is uncertain.
That's a question, isn't it? Rather than a.
I think it's a question.
You can't have a.
You can't have a motion without a circle to put it on.
So what are we on outside? Okay.
And then are we?
No and no.
Oh, am I?
Yeah. Am I? No and no. The stack is maybe this stack, good or bad.
Presumably. Which is.
Is this another on? Or
I believe. Given.
Because.
Oh yeah, that.
Because this is going to be the binding point side of the bottom.
Right.
So that's the opposite that's the opposite one. Because here,
touchpad.
yeah,
Probably.
here are the binding points there. Here are the binding points there. So that must be an in.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Remember to
will
use the
we-
touchpad as a pointing mark.
will we be in a good or bad thing? No.
Neither.
Yeah.
Although possibly these responses came at different times.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah.
You, yes, are.
Intend.
Uh,
I forget.
we'll have to look that up. Graph with a single dot. What did that do?
Yeah, that's.
Oh, but you skipped the graph of the answer. The graph. Of
I
the
know.
answer. Okay. Yeah, that
don't
is
worry.
intend.
Intend and do.
Pointing that way. Yeah. All things. All.
That is a curious.
Yeah, the pen style changes as well, as if this was being written on a bounded page, and then Blue made the page larger, or something like this.
Or, well, what does it mean pre-extension? It's just it's a branch.
Yeah, it's a branch that wouldn't
I don't
have
think
gone
it means
anywhere.
anything.
Yeah,
Extension.
right.
Like that's.
But
I'm pretty sure
it
that
doesn't
can't
mean
be
anything
interpreted as
now.
as a position line.
Right, but what elocutionary force did it have? Was it a funny kind of question leaving the fill something in here, or was it did someone cut the text there and re-add to it? Maybe we'll learn what to make of it later.
Oh,
Also,
what
the
is
pen
the
style
looping?
changing.
Looping back around.
It could be rel gapping to the exist.
It would be a very far rel gap.
It could be making a global shape in the text.
Well, yeah, of course it is also doing that. That's evident.
Yeah.
Let's analyze it locally first. Oh, yeah. These are...
So yeah, it is true to a middling extent, or did we have some other interpretation?
This is before the truth. This is at the intended...
But no, I look at the graph.
Yeah. That's I always forget the axes. I think that's the y-axis.
Yes, but it's
bound.
it's the degree to which this yes is true. It's not time or anything like that.
So
And
of
it's
middlingly.
or maybe same if there's an implicit group thing here, which I don't
Wait,
see
what's
yet.
that's? So you think it's the
yes.
graph y-axis is the rel?
Yes, I'm not sure if there will be a stack or something here yet, and the graph
It's
might
Yami.
cut
There's
through the
probably
stack.
going to be stacks.
So do you intend and do everything?
That
Yes, middlingly. All right.
Yes-ish.
Yes-ish.
Okay. You
What do you intend? Okay.
intend what?
So blue answers at
let's
some
see
point, and blue
if
comes off
there's
here.
Anything else we should loop to?
Bowl.
Yes. We. I mean, it's Yami. There's going to be lots of stacks. And we are going to look at chat when there are things that are clearly non-spoil.
Well-
for the moment,
They are using
Yes.
spoiler in Discord responsibly, so
please continue to do that,
Yes.
and we will look through the spoiled stuff once we have given non-spoiled interpretation.
okay.
So, Blue responds to what are you doing with
What are
this
you-
cartouche,
what are you
this
intending?
intending.
Wait,
This whole
yeah.
loop around, blah, 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 which has a U and then
You
R,
are
a Y,
reborn.
reborn. Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll get back to that. Sure.
So-
And then Blue also is saying
also
something about red.
Comes off here. That's right.
Okay.
So
So, in the middle is
the
something-
middle is much more conversation.
This
so-
is about what is red. This
Yeah.
is about what
What?
what
what
blue
blue
intends. Yeah.
So,
Okay, let's do what blue
what
intends.
blue intends. Okay.
Blue intends. This whole arc is tied to you, so
Yeah.
refers to red.
Yeah.
So blue intends that red.
Remember and Grok.
Remember and Grok.
A big group.
Yeah. Is that right? A big. I mean, like it's just syntactically. Is that right? Can we put a quantifier there?
I mean, in a special way, right? I forget why we put this. Let's just go to the grouping section of the group constructions. Where are you? Somewhere in here. You specially specify that form. There it is. Yeah, many.
Oh, okay. Right. A group of many things whose bigness
varies with
whose
triangle.
bigness varies with triangle in
So X, Y increasingly.
yes.
Yeah.
So direct
Yeah.
proportion. And triangle, I think, was.
Oh, you saw the other triangle.
There.
Oh, there it is.
So we'll get back around to that. Well, actually, no. We can. No,
well,
we're not
conversationally,
gonna,
it's
we're not gonna
later. Okay.
Do it very easily now. Okay. And Red asks whether all people are members of the group
So whether
whose.
so
That is a group attachment, I believe.
yeah, that's a group attachment, but then the upper one is a direct binding attachment.
Yeah, so that's a little
So
confused. Well, oh no.
yeah,
This is okay.
that's group to group. Is everyone
Some property question
is
mark.
everyone is
What is a property?
is
of
everyone
these
who is
people?
what?
A member of the group
Well.
comprised of at this point red.
Well,
This is
right.
red, I think.
well,
And
right. So this is
group, which is a
forming a new
group
group, right? So this is a cert, right?
that
Are there
understands.
others? Is everyone who is what also
Also going to
Grok and
yes, also
yeah.
broken and understanding this.
And
And that is unanswered.
that's unanswered, but
But
are you everyone who is what? The answer is yes.
that is a strange thing to assert. But we'll get to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Yami had reasons. Like it's licit, technically, but
Over the top or into the middle?
over the top.
All right.
Sorry. Next, I think we should do from the middle, either side.
Okay.
So the bottom is red, I believe.
The bottom is blue. Speaking of red, yeah.
Blue speaking of red, and the top
Well,
is
it's-
blue speaking of. Is red speaking of. No, is blue speaking of red as spoken by red. So, back again about blue. Or about red.
blue
Sorry.
saying you, so red. If they're
So,
speaking
this
to
is
each
about
other.
red,
Yeah.
and this is about red.
Yeah.
But this is red speaking about themselves
Yes.
in response.
Okay. So
I think
Let's-
bottom up is probably easier.
yeah.
So
So-
blue says, let's see,
So this is
dying early is bad. Wait, no, dying early is not.
dying
bad.
early is not bad. And that's you died early, which is not bad. You die early, right? This is directly bound to red.
Sure. Red dies early, which is not a bad thing. Although it doesn't say have. Well, it doesn't have tense.
Right.
So.
And here is an ear gap. Red would be good.
Red themselves would be good.
Yeah. And later
and
assertions made of.
One thinks. One remembers this.
Yeah.
Someone remembers the fact that it is posited that red could be good.
Yeah. Okay. Red remembers
In response,
their early death.
Red remembers that that they're going or have or whichever.
Yeah.
And Red's children, 2 children.
That's right.
Red's 2 children.
Question: will Red's 2 children tenseless? Do
Will
Red's 2 children die
also
early?
die early. No.
Does Red's spouse die early? No.
But Red's children remember that Red might be good.
Mm-hmm.
And it is bad that Red has a spouse.
The marriage, the being married is bad.
Or at least Red's marriage is bad.
Yeah.
Okay. To which Blue responds about Red's partner. That the Red's partner is happy. And shamed, I think.
The leftmost one is sad. Yep. Happy.
Ashamed
about their happiness.
Oh, yes, so it is. And is communicating with light.
Yeah.
The fact that they are sad.
That they
could be sad.
That's right. Not a fact.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's still it's a potential fact.
And these things are arranged suggestively but not syntactically against stuff from the top.
Okay, so from the top, we were talking about Red again.
Yeah.
From Blue, from Red.
Yes. Red asks. Okay, so most of this is written in by Red.
Though very anticipating that response from Blue.
Yeah. So a person is
a gestalt of large things.
A gestalt of many people die prematurely.
Not a person is, but a gestalt of many people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Die early, and they intend to do so. Do they intend to do so?
They intend to do so.
Question mark.
Am I
a person who intends to die early?
Am I a person of the Gestalt?
No, but the question is earlier.
Right. The question is, am I? There's a stack. There's a person. Oh, right. Sorry. This stack doesn't go through. So, right. Am I an intender?
Am I a die early intender?
Yeah. We need to think whether this stack coordinates with other stacks.
We'll get to there on the left.
Get to there. Yeah.
And then Blue says yes, and also you are
a member of the
Gestalt.
Yeah.
Of die earliers, not just of the intenders. Though that seems. Is that redundant? No, I guess not. In fact, technically the intenders, that is a stack, so
yes,
it's not necessarily co-referential.
Right, there's no co-reference.
So there's people who intend someone to die early, and there's people who die early. And those may or may not be the same group of people.
Yes. The group we were thinking of,
actually,
is this group.
the person who intends it is not a group. That's a single person.
That's a single person.
So some person wants people in general to die early. And Blue is saying, you are...
Wants a mass of people.
Sure.
Yeah.
At least some just also people to die early. And Red is saying that Blue is a person who intends a large gestalt of people to die early and is also one of said early dyers.
Yeah.
But that is not necessarily the same thing, and that's why it's not actually duplicative.
But there's some quantification going on here.
And it wasn't asked. Blue was just adding that on, and by the way, you're one of the ones who's going to die.
Yeah.
Great. And then Blue says, of the people who intend this...
which side is this?
What? This is...
Yeah, but, I mean, that's not a group now, and we have universal quantification.
Person who intends this...
Yeah.
Is...
is this the direction that says all sads are this person?
Yeah,
all,
I think.
Yes. All happies and all...
Yeah, it's gotta be. Otherwise it'd be on the right side.
Violence inflictors and violence targets are this person.
And all happiers.
And all happiers, yes.
Sounds vaguely Buddhist. Anyway,
we recognize the reference to canon. There's nothing up here?
I'm pretty sure no.
Nothing up there. Okay.
For that matter, do you have an idea what this overall shape is?
I mean,
recognize it. It looks like a little bit like dog, but not really.
I mean, it does have the dog tongue thing.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the base.
No.
And I can't immediately think of what else, though. Like, it's a little bit like ashamed.
Not really.
Not really, no.
It's a little bit like be part of the part whole groups.
I guess you gotta really squint for that, I think.
Yeah, it's longer than a deal for that.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, maybe there'll be a hint later on. So, Red talking about Blue, or Blue talking about Red, rather, says that Red is
reborn. We had that.
Red is reborn, and Red then refers to their pre-birth.
Right.
Says that Red remembers Red remembers during the interval of time. That's a TAM stem, isn't it?
That's right.
This is a TAM stem.
That's a TAM stem, which is
so during the interval of time when they were reborn, when they were during their previous life.
Yeah.
And
right.
during the death period
that
they direct them. Red remembers
all of their memories then are no longer memories now, so Red has lost memories from the first life. And from the interregnum. Yeah, that's right. Regnum.
Well, you know.
The soul is king of the body, and sometimes there could be an interregnum, okay.
And Blue then responds, this is still about Red.
Yeah.
So Blue says that Red, let's go down first, I think.
Yeah.
Blue says that Red, for a period of time during which Red is alive, and after and before, a period of time like covering Red's life period.
Yeah.
But a superset.
Which is triangle from earlier.
Which is triangle from earlier, which was the thing that varied in direct proportion to How
Which
much
is-
stuff
How much stuff? So
read and
over-
others remembered?
Right. So this is over the whole of. Or is that an iterative bar? That's probably an iterative bar. It's under new.
But it's got the brace on it.
Well, the brace is just to bind.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So over the course of multiple lives.
That's right. Potentially each life, the more is what's meant by the triangle.
Yeah. So, like, more, I guess, like, you learn more on each life,
Right.
despite forgetting everything.
Yes. Okay, so blue asserts, red remembers everything from their period of multiple lives.
Is that... No, it's the other... This is left button.
Yeah, everything is such that
All
things
things that are of this span are things that red remembers, according to blue.
Yeah. Let's do this.
let's-
Let's do this upper line because it's probably the same
Okay, fine.
conversational stage and we risk forgetting it.
Okay, and that memory is
Wait, this is a blue line.
from the question.
So this question comes in at some point.
Yes. I forget what that is. I think that's one of the evidentials.
Yeah, that's the evidence for.
Here we go. So the fact that red.
Yeah. What's the evidence?
What
that
is
this
evidence
good?
for the fact that red is good?
That? No, not that red is good. That's Relgap. That their rebirth is good.
Oh
Red-
yes, sorry. That red's rebirth is good. The evidence for that is that red remembers
Every-
all the rebirths.
all the stuff from the rebirth period.
Well, I think it's more all the rebirths. Like it's the iterative.
Well, I mean, sure, but you wouldn't have to route through the time if it were all the rebirths. This is the period of time which all the rebirths are during.
Yeah, I think either works. But yeah. Okay. And anyway, so all of those are a group whose
Quantity
quantity is
is what?
according to red, blue says large.
Yeah.
So blue says you've had a lot of rebirths.
Yeah.
And you remember it even though you assert you don't remember it.
Well, this is.
even though you assert you
this is
forget
like
it each
you
time.
forget it each time. Yes.
Okay. And then blue also asserts that red remembers and groks increasingly with
The time on the number of births scale.
the time on the number of births scale remembers stuff. Remembers what?
Lots. Many things. I mean, that's just this many things.
Remembers more stuff.
Right.
So, with every rebirth, red remembers
and
more stuff,
Remembers and knows and a lot more stuff. Yes.
according to blue.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's going on?
What's going on?
Also, what is this overall shape? Also, who are we? This sounds very Buddhist to me.
Yet. I don't know enough Buddhism.
Neither do I. But like the saying of like, oh yeah, you don't remember being reborn, but like with every turn of the wheel, you know are growing wiser or something. It's not quite what it says actually. Okay. what's with the like the all sad, all happy,
Yeah.
all harming and harmed person who intends that people die? Is that supposed to be Buddha? Buddha as a mass murderer?
I mean, the only sad and only happy person.
Does it say that?
The-
Only?
Right? All sad people are this one. All happy people are this one.
Oh, yeek. Yeah, that is a licit interpretation. Oh yeah, it can't be all happiness targets, nor like the maximum amount of happiness. It's got to be all people who are happy, or who are sad, or who have harmed or been harmed,
Yeah.
are this person.
This person, yes. So that person is
This-
some kind of...
This reminds me of the short sci-fi story of
Oh, yeah.
like someone
Like-
talking to God and God saying like, yeah, like all
Right.
of them are you,
Right.
like all the people
All-
on Earth who have
right.
ever lived,
All
those are
people
all you. In fact,
reincarnates of the same
person.
Right. Yes.
Actually, I think this is that story.
Is it?
It's saying like this is to prepare you by like making you smarter over the
yes,
course
yes.
of time, and like to
That
build up your
could
wisdom.
be that story. I forget the name of the author. I always when I think of that story, think of Feynman's "There's Only One Electron," which
I mean, it's not
you
far
know.
off.
No.
Okay, so do we think the interlocutor is God?
Oh, and
Blue?
I mean, it isn't that God is the end result of all of this, part of the punchline of that as well?
Oh yeah, something like that. Yeah. Why are they talking about Red's spouse being happy and ashamed
Right.
about being happy and trying to communicate their sadness?
Well, communicating sadness,
Communing
which is
fine.
not a
Communicating-
saying they're sad without necessarily it being true.
Communicating their sadness.
Right. So, so
What's that got to do with
Blue's
it?
spouse, sorry, that's Red. Red's spouse says they're sad, but is actually happy and ashamed of it.
Right. What's that got to do with it?
At what is not specified.
And Red's spouse is not.
The marriage was bad. Kind of.
Yeah.
And Red's
Blue
spouse.
thinks the
Yeah.
marriage was bad, and Red's spouse is not going to die early.
Yeah.
In a way that is not bad, at least. I'm not sure about the scoping there.
Oh yeah. I would have put that in narrow scope. That.
But I think.
Oh, how did? Yeah.
I think the more natural scope is that it's not bad to die early is outside of what is the stack here.
Oh, and then layer of the stack, you mean?
It's just excluded from context. I think like Blue is commenting it's not a bad thing to die early.
Well,
Red
this
is
is-
asking
Blue's going, it's not a bad
like,
thing.
is my spouse going to die early? Are my
Yeah,
kids
yeah.
going to die? My two kids going to die early?
Right.
And I think that the die early in a way that is not bad is not
Oh yeah.
part of it. But
Right. Agreed.
I think that's ambiguous.
Sure.
Scope. The eternal enemy. Enemy.
I mean, yes.
Blah blah blah. Why are we talking about their two kids? Did Yami mess up?
No, I don't remember the whole story. You know, this might be
Can you look up the story?
in here. What's it? What keywords?
This is stupid.
Reincarnation. Yeah, I don't know.
That's gonna get a ton of results.
The Egg by Bear. Yeah, okay.
Wait, what is our... Do we have a sign for egg?
We do. Oh, is it? Is this it? Yes, we have to look up egg. Because it was based on, like, not yet born child inside, and the way the inside is bound to the... that's probably egg. Yep.
Ta-da!
Good. Confirm. We didn't recognize
what's
it.
with this loop?
I guess this is trying to be on a larger level. This is...
Oh, that's
like
a good posit.
Mm-hmm.
On a larger level, what?
The egg is or being the egg is, right? The thick stroke is perhaps at the high level, and it's saying being the egg or something like that, and then it feathers down to the low level.
Being the egg.
Or else it's just meant to bind to it, but you can't directly bind that.
Wait, so being the egg is what blue intends and does? Is that right?
Yeah.
Or no, all... everything that blue intends and does.
No, blue intends... Right, everything that...
Blue is on the left. Blue
right,
is here.
But red wrote this with the open binding. Right, so...
But
the quantifier is...
Quantifier's after that.
Yeah, so it's
So
all
everything
things...
that blue intends and does.
But... No, the quantifier is that all right-hand sides are things that...
sorry, yeah. Well, it's also... So... I guess you're saying that the exist is on both levels?
The exist is certainly on the small level. It might be on the large level too, but it's not drawn in big pen.
Yeah.
It might just be a loose end or like a meta-syntactic BP on the large level.
We don't have written BPs.
Right, they are supposed to be dictionary apparatus only, but if you're being clever, maybe you invoke them.
Maybe. I think better to not have them unless you're talking linguistics, which we don't yet have the ability to do. Okay, so the things that red intends and does, which exist, which are the egg.
Which are all eggs or all loop-back whatevers.
All are the egg.
Well, no, but egg is
at the larger level.
egg is on the right side, right? So every
Yes.
right, the to the right hand side
egg
of the
is
all
the
is this.
is the like
Yeah.
existence of
That's right.
the
All
things.
eggs are things that blue
That
intends to do.
that is kind of clever, though. Like looping back around in larger scale in order to like do a z direction,
We'll do a zoom. It's not
as it were.
Right, a zoom ramp.
That is cute.
That is cute.
I'm a little confused by this bit. Like, what is red drawing here?
Right. Why is
What justifies this branch by red? Like, there are various other things that red has done here, or blue has done, which are very convenient, but poetry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, Yami is like graphically constrained here, but I don't get this part, and that part isn't constrained.
You don't get the
Why is there the upwards branch?
Why is this in
first
red?
place? Yeah,
Why is that in red?
It could be entirely in blue.
It could indeed.
And red isn't referring to it because red didn't draw the egg.
Yes, but without the branch there, it would be, do you intend and do everything? Which is a question.
Or
I guess it could be
all things that exist and all foo unspecified.
right. Is it? I mean, should we also be reading like a gradient the same way the line is feathering? It's not drawn as a gradient.
I don't think it's intended to be a gradient. I think it's just intended to be a thickness gradient, not a thin gradient. Let's see. Anything else we can get from bolding or the like? So like this part is entirely. Is it bold, or is this just...
I think very little else is bold.
Is this bold?
Don't think so.
It's stronger than that.
It is stronger than that.
But I think maybe that's just like this is the main thread of the conversation and not emphasis. And similarly, I think like this being thicker here than here
is probably...
I think that's just
natural pressure variation. Yeah.
Okay, so if you somehow don't want to be spoiled yet, despite having been spoiled by the course of others talking, you should pause here, because now we're going to go back and read the stuff in the thread.
Yes, we have spoiled you well enough already, looking up what short story this is translated from.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Or interpreted.
Okay, so let's... Alex, do you want to read?
You want me to read aloud?
Yes.
Is there a point to do that?
Yeah, because muxing in the Discord thing is going to be a pain in the ass, and it's easier to just speak.
Yami explained, I have worked on this text for literally months at this point, and I'm very excited to share it. This is definitely the most important text for me that I've written in else. I'd love to improve it more, particularly make it look more beautifully written, but it's getting too difficult, and unfortunately I really have no opportunity to work on it digitally anymore for the near future. And also would like to add more details, make it bigger. I think at some point in the future I'll rewrite it, maybe even on some physical medium, but for now I think it's a good idea to post it, to discuss it together with everyone, and move on to new texts. There are a lot of aspects of Unnels that I'd love to discuss that I explored in this text, and then I'd like to provide my thoughts on it, the evolution of the text, maybe an Unnels closed translation, and so on. But for now I guess it's better to let everyone read the text. Smiley.
Then for Jonathan expressed interest in doing it.
And Talisosa was on it. IC had the same order of recognition as us.
Ha! Good.
Very good. Oh, has Kuetzgezakt done the egg?
Yes, I think so.
Aha, okay.
Okay. And then Tullis also gives a translation, but I think that's probably not necessary to read here.
Alright. Jonathan also had her confirm. Yep. Good.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't remember the title either.
That is, I guess, the fact this story seems to be well known in this audience, but its title not, which leads to...
Though it is a very cute way of titling a text.
It is.
I
I like this, yeah.
Although, I mean, here it's not just titling the text, it's
titling and using.
It is using that bit, which is a trick. Let's see. do. Does the Jonathan's commenting, does the change in thickness mean change in scale? I.e. the whole universe is an egg. Yep, okay. Yami comments. This is before I posted the video.
Yeah.
Link.
Okay.
Thin to thick
Is
is
indeed
for that
a
purpose. Not an elegant
change of scale.
solution, I think. At least in this case, I would love something better, but couldn't come up with any better way. This is probably the most questionable and ugly part of this text for me in its current version. I don't think it's ugly. I don't think it's particularly questionable either.
Well, how to bind it is questionable.
How to bind it is a little
but
weird.
I think our first reaction was that it was clever.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think like the intent of like going to the higher level text is clear enough, and I like it.
Yes.
Jonathan talks about including egg at the smaller scale also, but not as satisfying aesthetically. I agree. I don't think the word egg really needs to be used in the story. You could reverse the direction and have it point more towards the center of the text, then you could easily mess up the overall shape that way, but message is a little confusing. And it was intentional that you pointed it where you did, though, as that's the VP of the larger scale glyph.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, if this were to be a connection. I mean, I guess, right, you could do something very silly like feather this down or like fade it down to white and have it reach white as it ends inside the exist circle.
Huh. I'm not even sure what that
Or like
would do. But you're trying to like have a like fine-nosed point on your link from the meta.
Right. Have like the colored of the stroke develop from uniformity to like red fringing blue, and then it continues as red, or do some kind of other weird meta like this. A design question.
I think I would be interested to see that, but I think it probably would not be as elegant.
Probably not.
But we should also like figure out more about how to do like Z-level connections and stuff. I think
when you say Z, you mean zoom,
yes,
as opposed to like stack Z.
Well, I also would like to figure out that better.
Right.
We don't currently have a way to like refer to a point within another stack level.
Right.
Either they're all different or they're all the same, and we don't have a way to easily say
except
like
by
this, the
pulling out,
Fibonacci series,
making the stack again and taking one of them.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to be able to say like Fibonacci definition is like the previous two.
Well, yeah, you can probably do this with the my parents' epigram kind of construction. And
probably, but
it doesn't need anything new.
Probably, I'm not sure. Anyway, let's see. Okay. Sai and Alex don't look yet. Well, we're looking now.
Oh yes. So we could have unbroken
something
these,
that just occurred to me is that you could have used a couple pronoun pairs to isolate the middle portion and make it look more like the egg glyph, though it's obviously not best practice. Style-wise, when I interpreted this, I saved the center for last, and I regretted that.
I see.
Says Jonathan.
Well, it's good that the center has a bunch of text where there is actually ink in the glyph for egg and has simple lines where there's no ink. That helps the reading.
That would be otherwise quite difficult to get.
Yeah.
And that explains the like strange positioning of this little bit of text.
Yes. Although the fact that these face each other is also just, a pure, like,
I think
calling
that's
attention
just
to
well
parallelism.
done.
Yeah.
And I guess this is one of the rare cases where I'd say it is justified to repeat the exact same glyph, like right next to another,
That's
as
right,
opposed to stacking
Trying
or
to stack
something.
all of these together would have been
But
tricky.
like the middle bits aren't the same, and the connections aren't the same, and like destacking them coordinately would be kind of a pain.
Yeah.
I think this actually works nicely. I'm very rare to endorse duplication. Okay, Yami says, yes, and I did think of that, but decided not to go for that specifically because that isn't really a good reason to not directly bind. It's
All right.
Yami, there's a sack,
Yeah.
yes, of course. All sads, all happiness, happiness.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Ooh, some new stuff. This is, yep. All right.
Okay.
Oh, mainly interpreting.
You get to it.
I see. Yami says about the meaning of the text. This is my interpretation of the Egg short story by Andy Vare. I based it off mainly Quetzalcoatl's YouTube video on it, also titled The Egg, and the original story, The Egg by Andy Vare. I really like Quetzalcoatl's video on it. Overall, I recommend watching it first and then reading the original story. The text.
So did I.
Oh, I didn't know there was a Quetzalcoatl, so there we are. The text is written as a dialogue between the person and the god. Jonathan asks, why watch the video first? Yami says it's really beautifully made. The music and the animations and the colors and everything make it such a beautiful experience for me. Also does some fixes to the original text. Which
I haven't read the original, I think.
But
Actually, no. Maybe I did afterwards. I forgot.
Jonathan asks, is there reading, an adaptation, and analysis? Okay. Yami returning on characters. The red and blue are person and higher entity. Wording, the second name is a bit long. I'd like to avoid God, because even in the story it seems that that's not exactly the case, or just a matter of perspective. Or a god-like entity from the perspective of a person. Speaking of characters, I'd like to explain how I thought of them as I wrote the text because it's important for the annals within the story. Person is just an average human who knows annals. Not exactly a hypothetical native speaker, but basically uses annals well, kind of close to my level. Higher entity is close
Totally average person.
Yeah, that's right. Average of the four of us in this conversation currently. Okay. Higher entity is close to what I imagine a native speaker to be when it comes to their perception of the world and language level. They don't perceive time linearly. Aha. Shades of arrival style heptapod. Time, as you know it, only exists in your universe. Things are different where I come from. Time. Did we have that?
There's this,
That.
this.
I mean, the triangle is the closest, but no. Okay.
I think triangle is supposed to be like your iteration of real life. Although that part's not entirely clear to me grammatically whether triangle is... A triangle would have to be a thing that takes number. Right?
Right. Or else...
So a thing that can increase. And like it's clear what's intended here is like the iteration, like which iteration you're on.
I mean, I think the time pronoun apparatus in theory does that, but how you right here you definitely do on the right hand side need to directly bind. So how you put a time pronoun in there is something I would have to look up whether we even addressed. So
yeah,
this is
I don't think we have.
Yeah.
So like this is not faulting Yami. This is just like I don't think.
Yeah. An underdeveloped part of the grammar.
Got it. As usual, Yami usually remembers it better.
Additionally, I use the term mortal world, Yami continues, to refer to the inside of the egg, which is basically the real world with the earth and so on, but real world would be a vague term to use in this story. Perhaps it's too epic of a term, but I can't think of anything else right now. XD. Feel free to abbreviate these terms as HE and WP if you want to keep it shorter, use our terms, I guess. Oh, I see. The layout.
Read it.
Yes.
Read it before referring.
I really enjoyed working on this text, Yami writes, in a passage on adapting the story to Annals. I went through a lot of versions of it. Here are a few points I intentionally introduced in the text. 1, the shape of the text overall, the shape of the egg glyph in Annals. Indeed. I think this is a good realization of the zoom feature of Annals based on this. 1.1, the inside of the egg, which correlates to the inside part of the egg glyph, represents what happens in the real world in the story, inside the real world. All the feelings, emotion, deaths, and lives of people.
Oh, huh.
Oh, so it does.
Ah, okay, yeah. Yeah, that is a cute parallelism.
Yeah, didn't pick up on that.
Good trick.
1.2, the outside of the egg, which corresponds to the protective outside shell part of the egg glyph, represents stuff outside of the real world where the higher entity resides. Stuff that's written here mostly refers to stuff in the world of the higher entity.
Again, good trick. I appreciate that.
2, since higher entities native at Annals and perceives time non-linearly, they lead this Annals conversation. This is through how HE strokes are deliberate, often confusing at first, but eventually they lead to intentional results. The main one being the whole text forming the shape of the egg glyph, and the HE binding to the whole text in their final statement to person.
Right.
Person doesn't do elaborate strokes and asks simple questions, and overall writes simply and shortly.
That is also correct and a very good poetic trick to have used.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
3, person perceives themselves as just that one human from Earth, at least till they start to regain their total memories, as mentioned in the story. The person is reborn before that happens, so person is still attached to the mortal world, trying to write stuff there and bind to it. Higher entity is used to perceiving person not have that one human from the mortal world, but as their own child, as something much more than just one human. At first, higher entity refers to person by binding to the first me glyph that person wrote, for their convenience and not to confuse them. That is kind of between the inside and outside the egg, conveniently, and between them, just like person is in between being a human in the mortal world and another higher entity in the outside world. But later, higher entity writes a new U glyph on the outside part. The inner me mostly binds to the stuff that happened to the human in the mortal world, while the outer U refers to person as a whole, binds to stuff like being reborn, having memories, and so on.
So it does.
Oh, the part you just highlighted
What
is
is this bit, though?
we didn't
There are
resolve that. There are some
and
questions that are not answered.
Where am I think.
Yeah. Where am I?
Where are we?
Where are we?
Which goes unanswered. And what is what are all people? Something like that?
What are all of the race, if that's the word to which the higher entities belong, I guess is what is meant.
This includes Red.
It includes Red, who is revealed to be one of them, right? In the bear version.
By Blue or Red?
I don't know. I don't remember reading.
Red asks.
Red asks, yeah.
I guess this is something like, what are you? Or what kind of...
What kind of person are you?
Yeah. Okay, continue.
Yeah, interesting points I'd like to discuss. Item 1. At the end of the text, the person's about to write or ask something, so they draw a line to the bottom right, but higher entity interrupts them by stopping them and continuing their line, because higher entity already knows the person will ask, and the answer is already there, so they just point to the whole text. Aha.
I did think that was like an interrupt of a partial
Oh,
line.
I see. I'd gotten as far as like cutting the page, but hadn't gone as far as thinking of real-time interruption, but instead just to like...
It seemed like an aborted. I couldn't tell that it was like interrupted. It did seem like an aborted one.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say, it seemed aborted, but my guess at the aborting was paper-level editing, not as real-time as yours even, so you were closer. I thought about different ways of achieving this effect, but only came up with this one where the size of the pen increases. It's kind of weird, though it would only be possible IRL with brushes or tools like that. Yeah. native speakers might carry a variable width
Or
brush with them.
Just have a,
For
you
this
know, a
effect.
wedge brush or a calligrapher's brush, which can do that.
That's right. I mean, come get Cypherus to show us their tricks. I'm sure they could do that for them.
That's pretty. It is.
It is.
Ravos
Ravos is very pretty.
very pretty.
Yes.
And like calligraphy first, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thinking similar with the fade to white to white. Implication of it being a rel gap rather than a direct connection. Says John. Yeah. The thing of it being a direct connection at both higher and lower level seems like a trick to pull off.
Yeah, I mean, it's a trick. And since it's not grammar yet, it's just sort of a poetic feature that you can pull off with the higher level reading. We haven't.
What if you connected
built it.
the thick stroke?
If you connected the thick stroke
to circle.
Oh, like just
Like
made
if
it
you
butt
just-
up against circle.
If you continued this,
I mean, I guess yeah.
till
If it
hit circle.
if it ran into circle and filled the whole diameter of circle, that
Not
would.
fill, but like abutted.
I mean, you're right. If it abutted, it would look to me more like it was trying to come back to the low level. But if you connected it to circle so that it did sort of fill a whole hemisphere of circle.
Like that.
Right.
Except not ugly.
And well, I mean, there's connecting them directly, or you could connect them something like this, right? So that there is still
Some overlap. So it
still circle, but you know, it's as though the circle is just a feature of the stroke type on the high level and is a glyph
Right.
on the low level.
it is just sort of being drawn through
Yeah.
rather than the target as such.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could work.
I didn't include the part of time as you know it. Okay.
That exists in your universe.
Yep.
Different where I come from. Jonathan says the equivalent passage in the original story is, quote, "So the whole universe, you said, it's just an anecdote." I answered. An anagram.
How to do endless anagrams is a question for later.
Oh God. Let's. Maybe not. Okay, and then this Yami is talking about this part. Oops.
Select to the left, I guess.
So, about this part, Yami says the passage for this part is just me. What about everyone else? There is no one else, I said, in this universe. There's just you and me. Although, really, there's just me, you, single identified.
No, I think now that I remember, it's not me you identified. It is, you know, at the outer world level.
I guess.
Person is the developing child of hierarchy.
Right.
So there's the two of them.
You stared blankly at me, but all the people on Earth, all of you, different incarnations of you. Wait, I'm everyone? Now you're getting it, I said, with a congratulatory slap on the back.
Owen, Right. So now Jonathan has or
Maybe
I
if the
guess.
strokes would
Yeah.
match the circle diameter at point of contact without actually
Is-
filling it in at all.
doing a nicer version of the thing we were crudely doing with the.
Yeah, that's sort of what I was thinking.
Yeah, that would probably look nice.
Okay, we are now caught up to comments. Any questions before we end the stream? We'll wait a bit, given buffering.
Yep.
Anyway, or for that matter, in the meantime, Alex, any comments?
Uh-huh. Top level comments? I don't know. It's a lovely text. It's a good, I guess, the first serious linkage of high level with lower level, and that's an awesome thing to develop, and it is very skillfully laid out.
Yeah. And nice use of colors, and nice that the conversational thread actually works relatively clearly.
Yeah.
Although it occurs to me that one might want to deliberately disrupt that in this particular story, given that this is a story that occurs between every death in the story.
Between a death, I don't know if it's between every death.
Well, fine, between some
Right.
some of the deaths,
Mm-hmm.
but the you-ness and the me-ness and the when is this being asked, and the heptapod aspect of I knew you were going to ask this all along. You always ask this. You
Yeah.
were always going to ask this.
Jonathan is saying something, and they've just said the same thing I was going to do. Choosing similar colors, I see. Yami picked the colors from Kuletzkazak, but I was going to say, I wonder if the similar colors were ultimately to express the similarity of essence of the two parties.
Which would also, yeah, I think it's quite nice.
Agreed.
I am very amused / question mark dismayed that it is possible to communicate a complex story like the egg
Well,
in Annals, but
I mean, we still skip the skep from having heard it before, but yes.
fair, but we did interpret it semantically before
Yep,
first.
that's right.
And yeah. Yikes, what have we done? Oh, yikes. Jonathan mentioned that you could make them so similar that it looks unified.
Well, that
alone.
Realis, that they were made
I
so
wonder
similar.
if.
Yeah.
Didn't intend that. Says Yami, but would have been smart.
Yeah.
I agree. And also it seems to me like maybe you could play with that, if you were using, in the sweep back stroke, maybe the color gradates to something between red and blue.
Well-
to indicate the author is being blendy.
Well, the author isn't being blendy. They're just
It would-
being another of the.
It would be a departure from the original.
Yeah. You could do that. You could. It would. I mean, right? How does
How do you change a text?
how does a
when-
multiple system write? Do they use a color which has color constituents?
Maybe. Or yeah, it would be interesting if you could if you had a calligraphy pen where you could on the fly with pressure or something
That's right.
indicate what is the What is the proportion of ink drawn from two different reserves
Ooh,
or multiple
that's
different reserves?
something to ask Robbers about, not Robbers, Cypherus about whether there exists a pen like this.
Seems like it probably exists.
Seems like it probably could be made, but would be a trick to learn to play.
Yeah. It'd be neat. Yeah. I think that's about it for now, and maybe we'll switch to a video chat. That is where I'm going to cut off the stream.
They've been Sai. I've been Alex. This has
I
been a
can-
reading of The Egg.
In fact, I continue to be Sai, and you continue to be Alex.
Do you now? This whole video was just an egg. Goodbye.